to No Time Racing YouTube channel. We wanted to have a sit-down discussion with you guys about how our year is going. And we were going to name this, should we name it? I don't know, I don't even know what we're going to name this. But I was thinking wieners and beers because we just got done eating hot dogs. But we at least got the beers. So we kind of want to talk about what we've done good this year, which is very minimal because we've only been out a handful of times, and what we've done really bad. We're trying to look for a direction of what we're supposed to be doing. We have some radial races. We have a slick race that's more important, I think, with that 50K race at Shadyside. So we're trying to figure out how to juggle all this. For instance, last week we went to Mooresville and we went no prep testing. We thought about going to NPK at Virginia and doing some no prep racing, but we're missing a few tools out of our toolbox on that one. So we decided to not go there. It didn't work with our schedule, but we did get some really good data at Mooresville. But what we can do is introduce you to kind of who we are, and you see us at the track maybe and you're like, who's this person? Well, we can kind of go around and say, hey, my name is so-and-so and this is what I do. Or maybe I can help out and tell you what they do also, because you're not going to shut me up, right? I got a beer in my hand.
He doesn't let anybody else talk.
Yeah, pretty much. This is my wife Amanda, first and foremost. She's by my side through everything. She's the hot chick lining me up at the line. You'll see it all the time. And, you know, she's maybe the future driver. We'll talk about that later.
I don't know about that. I don't like going a straight line. I like turning left.
Yeah, so she grew up doing circle track. I'll tell you more about what I do for a living also later on. But, yeah, we're all racers no matter what. But we're more straight line right now. Mike. Next to Amanda is Mike. You'll see him. He's backing us up. He helps ton. He's my boy when it comes to this stuff. And
childhood friends.
What do you do, Mike? What do you do on the car? Like, what do you do in between rounds?
Everything that you know.
Damn! I like it.
The extra eyes, the fueling, the plugging of the
coolers, battery
cooler,
chargers, fuel, tires.
Krista and I mainly just take off the hood.
It's gotta be done.
Yeah, so they take off the hood. The ladies take off the top. I mean the hood. Sorry. Let's just keep it clean here.
They get it off.
So, you know, to be successful at high level, you're going to have a great group behind you. And to my left is who?
This is Morgan Kramer here, video guy. Man
he is the video guy. So like all this stuff, we're going to put on YouTube. We're not going to put it on YouTube. Morgan is going to put it on YouTube because we can barely run the laptop to tune this thing. So, and then right behind him is his better half, April.
By far
better half. So,
and don't forget, you have Krista over here who also grew up with you.
I'm sorry, I work this way. I work this way.
It's ADD. We gotta keep him focused.
Yeah, I work this way. My bad. I'm sorry. So, and let's talk about how important Krista's job is.
Yeah, very super important.
She got a
The
whole mic
most
down.
important. She's in charge of the laptop.
She's in charge of the mic.
Yeah.
Well, that too.
So the laptop story is we went to Shadyside, I think last year we went to Shadyside. Well, for some reason, my ECU just got wiped. We were just about, were we? The first time we went there, we were in a test pass, right? A shakedown.
Yeah.
And I was buckled in the car, I think. And I turned on the power and it was like blank screen,
No
right?
data.
Yeah.
No data. Never even seen this before. So no idea what happened there. So we kind of backed out of the shakedown and had to look at and try to figure out what the hell's going on. So it wiped out the file for some reason. Even talking to Pete Harrell about it, he's maybe heard of it before, but it's kind of rare. So we didn't have the laptop with us. So usually now we take the laptop with us to the starting line no matter what. Just in case something happens, if it kicks out a global file, I'll put it right back in. And at the time we didn't know, we weren't used to it. So Chris is very important with the carrying of the laptop. So, you know, going around talking about what everybody does, it kind of takes everybody to get this done. Even if it's freak accidents, we're learning every day how to be better, and you know, we make changes wherever we need to. So this whole roundtable deal is, it's coming together because we want to talk about, like I said, what we've done crappy and what we've done good. So Mike, what would you say has gone against us so far this year without dogging anybody?
I mean, we fought some torque converter issues that has been an ongoing problem that we finally, I think, figured out.
Yeah.
You know, the switch from radials back to slicks, I think, was a good move, but we're learning.
Where do we run into the converter issue at?
Piedmont.
Piedmont. Okay, so, you know, first race of the year, we go to Piedmont, which is, the track's awesome. A tuner's dream, usually. And we went down, we run, I think we ran a personal best. And after that, we decided, let's throw some more power to it, just like you always do, right? You're always trying to go faster. Well, I think it ran, what, 100 slower or something like that?
And lower mile per hour, too.
Lower mile per hour, every category. And I put, you know, quite a bit more power to it. So, and then we noticed that the converter temps, like, so Michael plugged on the cool down unit, right? And we noticed the temp was actually higher than we were used to seeing.
A fair amount higher.
And what does that mean, right? Like,
Driving through it.
so usually, so everything was pointing at, we're driving through the converter, which created a whole bunch of heat, right? So,
Which you had just rebuilt.
which we had just rebuilt, and so it was hard to point fingers at anybody just because we just had, and how many of you out there have something rebuilt, supposed to be perfect, or you peel it out of the package and it doesn't do what it's expected to do? Okay, so that's kind of where we're at on that one. So after that, I think that was we did 2 shakedowns, and then we went in the first round, we drew the orange Mustang, who wins everything in Bernal No Time right now. You know, we weren't going to compete with him anyways, but we wanted to give it our best shot. So I think we added more, I don't know if we added more power, we've left it the same, hoping for a different result. And it went almost identical again. So we pretty much just put our finger down on the deal and realized we were blowing through the converter. Okay, so we come back from that, and I talk with my converter guy, I'll tell you who it is. It's Greg Slack. He makes great converters. You know what? He doesn't usually make any mistakes on anything, and he actually felt like maybe he left it too loose for radial racing. So we tightened it up, and then where did we go after that? We went to Mooresville, right?
Yep.
All right, so Amanda, talk about Mooresville and how Mooresville's treated us in the past, good and bad, right?
Yeah, so I would say Mooresville, you go there and unfortunately I expect you to spin your tires.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, everybody's got the same track.
Yeah.
So we're not dissing on Mooresville. We always wish it was easy where we can unload and go A to B.
And it's great that it's super close to the house.
Yeah. Like, that's our home track. So for all of you that don't know, we're 10 minutes from Mooresville, North Carolina. So from the driveway. So we put more emphasis on there. We go there to test. We do this and that. We try to figure out how we can dominate our home track. Well, last year we went there and won.
First race.
Yeah.
First race.
On radials.
On radials. So, like, we already set the bar up here, and, you know, that's usually how it goes. From that point on, right, everything's just downhill.
Nowhere to go but
No matter what we do, it's just trash. So, and a lot of that's on us. So we we go back after, so we won Mooresville last year, and we did a couple races after that, and I can't even remember. Do you remember what happened after the win at Mooresville? How many times did we even race it?
I think three.
Yeah.
Three times total. I think we won the first one, and then we went a couple rounds in the other two.
Yeah.
That was the start of the converter issues.
But then we were more successful when we went to Piedmont and then Shady Side.
Yeah, so Shady Side's been good to us too. We actually got a win there last year too. But like I said, we put more emphasis on Mooresville, and I feel like we went back into Mooresville the first race of the year. So we've only been out, we've been out 4 times this year. We went to Piedmont, Mooresville twice, and we went to Shady Side this past weekend for a no prep event.
And stood in the rain.
It's gonna rain! It's raining sideways!
Which it rained the whole time, so we didn't even make a pass there. But either way, the first Mooresville race, we actually ended up going, we spun in our shakedown, then we ended up winning the first round and going down. I spun at 3.2 seconds, something like that. So there was hope because our 60-foot time and our 330-foot time was really, really good. So
But what caused you to not finish that race well?
so much hate.
Hey.
I thought it was because he detuned it so much that he just let.
This is when I put my leg up like this, and I'm like, oh,
that he
Here it comes.
let the other car just blow past them. But the following day, looking.
Anyways, let me interrupt.
What happened?
So,
I remember.
yeah. No, we were so excited, or at least I was, about going down at Mooresville and winning first round. And you can look back at the video and how excited I was, and we felt like we had the tune to win the race. Well, we're so detail oriented and just looking at everything that you can't even see. We missed the one thing in our front of our face with the big gauges on it. So don't act like it's never happened to any of you guys in this world. And yes, we are idiots that night, and we'll take that.
That night.
yeah.
They closed it up.
Yeah. But after Mike showed me the ticket on the big end, and I never lifted, and it ran a tenth slower than me lifting at 3 seconds, I was a little confused, and we got beat, and we just got beat. That's how we took it. I just knew something wasn't right. So, once we unloaded in the garage, I left my laptop in the motorhome, so I couldn't get the data right away. We just ran out of there because, we're a bunch of crybabies. We're like, we don't like to lose.
Oh, don't cry, are you?
So we just ran out of there and started drinking sodas. So I looked at my bottle, my CO2 bottle, when I got here, and sure enough, I cracked it open. It didn't even budge. We literally ran out of CO2. So, sometimes you look, like I said, so hard at all the other stuff that's...
You have to have a longer checklist.
yeah.
And then you go and buy more stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's racing.
That's racing. So, you learn from your mistakes, and you don't want those ones like that to happen. So that one was tough. But we went back there, and I don't know if you know this, but I got a fill station now for CO2, and we're topped off every time we go out for a pass. And
Did you ever buy a new gauge? With bigger numbers?
no.
Isn't that what you're saying? It's easier to read.
But now it's
Now I turned it where I could see it.
and now it's to a greater number too. So.
Baby steps.
He just got to wear his glasses and he might be able to see it.
Yeah. Well, that's.
Contacts.
Hey, I don't know who said that, but we go back there for our second race. They're 2 weeks apart. We really had nowhere else to be, so we were running with our tail between our legs after that first race, and we really wanted to go back there and do well. So we made the checklist longer, go through everything, blah blah, and I don't even remember what we did in the shakedown. You know, you usually get 1-2 shakedowns. I think we spun. Oh, we spun at 6 inches. Like literally,
Didn't even move.
boom. And I actually had pulled power out of it, 6 inches.
What do you mean by that?
So I pulled power out of it and it spun earlier. So I was just mind boggled at that point, right? We just left the place 2 weeks ago.
It was also colder.
So I will say that. It was much colder.
Rain had come through all day too.
Yep.
Yeah, it washed the track away. Was that when the motorhome was
It was
blown?
Oh, yeah.
windy. It was
Yeah.
super windy.
Blown like we weren't even gonna unload. Remember when
We didn't
Amanda?
unload until 10 minutes before.
Yeah, we were all in the motorhome just
I
chilling.
just arrived. I was like, "What are y'all doing?" Sitting inside the motorhome.
You know, sometimes you just want to show up and drink and not even
Soda.
Don't even push it out trailer.
Yeah. So we go into first round after doing the spinning activity and the shakedown, and I'm telling you right now, I've never pulled that much power out, just like all of you would do. I mean, I left the dumps on longer, way longer. It didn't even make it that far. We went in the first round. So the nitrous car in front of us, we were left lane, the nitrous car in front of us, instantly up in smoke, burst panel. I mean, it was boom. I'm like, oh gosh. And you know what? When I do a burnout at a track and I back up, I can almost see like the rubber pulling off the tire or the glue coming up, something. It looks really dark, and all of you radio guys know that when you back up, usually it looks really dark. So when I backed up that night and I was looking, it looked like a steamroller. So I knew at that point we were done. I was hoping that we would go down, but it spun instantly. Hit it again, hoping for something. Spun again. I'm like, all right. So we were done. We were done with Mooresville there.
Hey,
So
kids on, did you?
I did have hay
For
dudes
the
on.
test pass.
and here's a little piece of information, right? Let them know. If you're wearing hay dudes at a radial race and they're not coming off,
You got a problem.
you got a problem. So, like I said, everybody's on the same track. But what we notice is what were people running more of that we didn't have?
Slicks.
Everybody can answer. Everybody was going to slicks, not just for that. Some of them were doing it for other reasons. Testing. And I told everyone that we're going to go to slicks after this weekend to start testing for the 50K race. So we did that. Like, we went to slicks immediately after that, and Mooresville was a humbling experience for us. And we just said, all right, let's work on the slick from here on out. And we're like, we went to the other extent of it. What do we do, Mike? We went to a slick and we said we were going to go no prep racing.
Yeah.
So we stayed out here doing what? To the car.
Scaling and weights.
Putting weight in. How long did it take you to switch out your tires? Radials to slicks.
Turns out it was 90 degrees and high humidity that day.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and his garage smelled like lavender, baby powder.
Baby powder, yeah.
Yep.
And why do you use baby powder? Go.
It's on the tube.
For the tube. We just use lavender smell. We like it.
Proof it up.
So we went full slick. No prep. And I told Mike, I was like, let's just go do a no prep race. But first we're gonna go to Mooresville that humbled us. And I called there and I told them, do not do anything to the track. Blow it off. And good thing they did that because it was yellow from pollen. And we got 3 shakedowns, no prep, and we probably went the furthest we've ever gone recently at Mooresville. And it was all in, no prep setup. There was a number we were looking for by the 3rd pass, and I'm pretty sure we achieved it. It was right there. So we're trying to do no prep and slick test at the same time, just to make sure we're getting every little bit of piece of traction on the car, right? So if people that are no prepping, they're doing crazy things. We've talked about it recently. They're maximizing traction. And obviously most of them are using traction control, which is fine, but they're still getting all the traction they can out of the chassis. And that's what we're trying to do right now. And after that test we did, we decided, let's go where? Where'd we go?
Shady.
Shady Side. And what do we do at Shady Side?
Waiting.
Sit in the rain.
Sat in the rain.
Over and over.
How
3
many passes
times.
you do?
Big goose egg.
Nope.
Zero.
Yeah.
No
We were in the
passes.
staging lanes, all buckled in,
Ready
and all
to
of a
go.
sudden it starts raining.
All right, we're ready.
We
Big
drove
drops.
the car back to the trailer. We waited that storm out. It
Downpour.
dried out. Got the track dry, ready to go.
And mind
And
you,
it
this is an
started
all-day
raining.
thing. Got
Yeah.
there at what, 11?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got there at 11. Actually, chip draw was at 1. So we thought I was telling all these guys, I'm like, man, no prep racing.
Easy.
No more
Fast.
patience on radial, right? Like radial, spray the glue, drag, glue. Let's make one pass, spray it again, and let's go no prep racing where you just line it up and go. Was that the case?
It felt
This
more-
time.
It felt
Well,
more
you lined
dramatic.
up, you
We
didn't
also
go.
they had what, 6 or 7 classes prior to yours. So that prolonged it a little bit.
Oh, and how was the track? How was the track? Could you walk with Hey Dudes on a no prep track at Shadyside?
No, I tried
Why?
because my shoes came off.
So we go to a no prep race, and it was like a radial prep. So, in the back of our minds, we're like, well, shoot. Do we take weight out of the car? Do we throw more power to it? So we're trying to, because you got to understand it's off the trailer. There is no shakedowns. So we went from like feeling good about no prep testing to, man, there's a bunch of dogs in this class, and the track's really, really good. So now we have to make a decision. What are we gonna do? So I don't know about the ladies, but me and Mike were looking at it like, dang, the number we just did at Mooresville with no prep. Excuse me. Hot wieners and beers got me.
Hot wings.
Hot wieners.
Oh,
Juicy boy.
And we were excited about the track, so we're like, all right, we're gonna throw some power to this thing. We're gonna turn off the dumps when we need to. We're not gonna leave them on and let the converter just heat up. So we thought we had we drew a good first round. We didn't draw somebody that just got done testing there and making a killer pass. So we also knew we had to go A to B in a fast fashion. So we were excited about that. And I felt like we probably brought our heads together and had the good setup. And then rain.
Little bit of stinging rain and big old fat rain. Rain that flew in sideways, and sometimes rain even seemed to come straight up from underneath.
It rained, and kudos to Shadyside for their track people
Yeah, they worked hard.
for doing what they did. I mean, they got it dry twice.
Yep.
Or 3 times. Twice.
Twice.
It rained 3 times, so they got it dry twice
yep.
in a timely fashion. So for what it was, because it
Yeah.
downpoured.
They were making it safe.
They were calling us up.
So yeah, so we came home from that, and now it's like here we are, and we're circling back to Mooresville because that's our next race. Next Friday night. If you have a chance, go and watch this video before you go, so you can see how we've been drugged through the mud and how we have another great plan put in place because we don't give up. So we made changes after the test, and we're gonna make changes to the tune, and I feel good about it going back to Mooresville with a slick, not a radial. Now I'm sure it'll be the best radial track we've ever seen in our lives.
Yep.
Only because every time we do this, something else goes this way. So eventually we're gonna get it, and that's part of racing. Sometimes you can't do no wrong, and that's all racing, right? Like when you're winning, you just wipe the thing off and go, right? Super easy.
But when you're struggling, the win makes it that much more sweet. So.
True. So we're going to Mooresville next week, and next week Friday night. So if you have a chance, come out there and support us. But our schedule is going to be bouncing around a little bit from slick. Our main focus is the 50K race on a slick, but there is 1 or 2 days I'm going to a radial, and that's for Streetcar Bragging Rights, which I'm locked into that deal, and Aiken, South Carolina, Dragway. Looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. We're probably going to run personal best after personal best just because we got the right converter for that situation. We feel pretty confident with our radial setup. And then the next day, we're going to go to Shadyside for also a radial race. And I would say after that, we're all slick. And we're going to go back right where we were. I don't like bouncing around like that, but I've committed to that radial race at Streetcar Bragging Rights. So the next day, on our way home, we might as well stop at Shadyside and get some more radial racing. So as long as everything's going good. So now you kind of see where we're at and what we've been through and where we're going. We have a busy schedule, a month of May. I think actually Mooresville has 3 races in the month of May. So we will be running slicks at all those races in testing for that 50K race because we do feel like, you know what, there's 64 cars there and there are some bad dudes, but I'm telling you right now, we're no slouch.
We're not giving up on Mooresville.
We're not giving up on Mooresville either.
Too close to home.
Too close to home. We'll be okay. We'll get it figured out. But, you know, it's just, the problem with Mooresville is you have all your friends and family come there and you're just like, and they're like, go, 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 and you're just like, hey, no, no, no. Well, I would say, but there's always a winner, right?
There is always a winner.
So, like, you can say, oh, the track this, track that. Yeah, we know. But we know what the track is right now. When we go there, we know what the track is.
Adapt. Yeah.
So we are going to adapt the situation, and it's going to make it that much sweeter when we get it done. So I hope you guys liked our wieners and beers round table, which there's no wieners because we already ate them, but we got beers. And please like and subscribe. And
Merch coming soon.
There is merch coming soon. It's a big announcement. I'm not wearing any of it right now. We're in HED.
Yeah.
Oh, we do have the hat on. No Time Racing,
Yeah.
just like the handle. NoTimeRacing.com. We're gonna have all kinds of gear, good hats, shirts, hoodies, koozies.
We want to represent all No Time racers.
Yeah, we're
not just us.
yeah we're No Time racers. So that is our whole deal when we do come out with this, and we're really close. And I will do a whole separate video on that and really fill you guys in on where we're going. And if you're a No Time racer, we want to represent you. So I hope you enjoyed it, like I said, and like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.
Peace.